For today's episode, I'm really excited to share with you one of our most recent OHM community calls. These are totally free calls that I host for our OHM community where I do live coaching, trainings, workshops, and Amber, our lead coach, also joins us and leads some amazing conversations as well. It's a great space if you are a female entrepreneur, healer, wellness professional, therapist, coach, psychologist, or anybody in the space of healing and you just want to learn, grow, and get connected with other really conscious, really safe, really awesome people. So I encourage you to come on down and join us. It's every other Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you head over to my Instagram page, you can see in the link in bio, there's a little button to sign up for the email list. And once you sign up, you will be on the list to receive the invite every time we have a call. I am so thrilled because these are just incredible spaces. And I was thinking to myself that there's no reason why you guys shouldn't also be able to listen in on the workshops and amazing trainings that I give on these calls. So what we're going to be doing is this year, as part of our season 2, we're going to be sharing some of these community calls that we think are going to be really helpful for you. And the first one that we're going to be doing is, drum roll, please, leaving your 9-to-5 job. I know. This is the one you've been waiting for. I've been getting a ton of questions and people asking, okay, Gabby, I know that you do your business full time, but I am still at work. I'm still going in 9 to 5 to work for someone else. And I have a family and I have this going on and I have this going on. How do I actually work in this space when I am being pulled in all of these different directions and I'm really lacking the energy? How do I make this happen for myself during this squeeze so I can actually jump in full time to my business? And so I think this is a really, really important topic because I don't know if you guys remember from the first episode when I kind of explained where I came from, but when I built OHM therapy coaching, like the business, the page, all of it, I was actually still, number one, working a regular 9-to-5 job as an assistant in a corporate office, and it was horrible. It was like so life and soul sucking, and it demanded a lot of my time. And I was also going to school full-time in the evenings to get my master's in clinical psychology, and I was, like a crazy person, interning full-time as well on weekends, and on the evenings I didn't have classes. So I get it. I know what it's like to be in the squeeze and to, want to see your dreams happen, but also being like, I don't want to burn out. So this is going to be a really important episode if this is where you are right now in your journey. So grab a pen, a piece of paper, get ready to take some notes on this workshop that I led. And if you have any questions or anything at all, I'd love to hear about it. Tag me on Instagram, send me a DM, let me know what your thoughts are. Because, this beginning part is the hardest part when you are doing all the things, wearing all the hats, and it won't be like this forever, but we need some skills and tools and stuff to help us get through it. So enjoy this episode and let me know what you guys think. Okay, so like I was saying, if you're here, you are probably a super powerful, awesome healer who is also currently in a soul-sucking 9-to-5 job. Chances are in 2020, if not before, you had some kind of major awakening where you were like, oh my God, I hate this. I never want to work at this place again. It sucks the life out of me to show up every day. I dread having to deal with these people on a regular basis. I know I was there. So if this is you, you're in the right place. Chances are you've also invested significant amounts of time, energy, and money into your education and your training. If you're a therapist, especially, or if you've gotten a higher level education, if you've done extra certs and CEUs and specialized yoga teacher trainings and things like that, it is expensive and time consuming and energy consuming. And you're not living a life that feels aligned. So you're wondering if all of that was really worth it. And maybe you feel stuck because your paycheck is nice, right? Like it's stable, every 2 weeks or every month or whatever, you're going to get money in the bank. You're going to be able to pay your bills. You can kind of maybe do something fun. So why rock the boat, right? It's like comfortable and you don't love it, but like it's safe. So a lot of people who come into Ignite and who I work with who are in the beginning stages of their journey,
they are usually working more than one job, or they're going to school. So time is very limited, energy is very limited. There's a lot of fear around burnout, a lot of I can't do this. And, truth is, for some people, it is overwhelming and it is too much and it just takes longer. It's not that you can't, it's just like you have to pace it for your own energy and for your situation. But just as kind of, so you guys know, full transparency, when I was building OHM, I was also full-time working 9 to 5 as an executive assistant for like the most misogynistic financial loan boss guy who I didn't even know what he did, to be honest. They would ask me, they're like, Gabby, you're his like EA, like, what does he do? I'm like, I don't know. He just like does stuff with like loans and real estate, and he's just not great to work for. But it was a really comfortable paycheck. And I was like, okay, this looks good on a resume. And all right. But I realized during my own healing journey that I was like not okay and that I really wanted to heal myself. Didn't find any therapists or psychologists who really, really could help me in the way that I needed them to, and didn't feel like understood me or what I needed. So I went back to school because I was just going to heal myself. I got so frustrated. I was like, I'm just going to go get my master's in psychology and hopefully like figure out my life after this. And so that was also what I was doing. I would go to work 9 to 5, and then I would get in the car and have a snack and drive to school, which was like 45 minutes away, and like run in for class from 6 to 9 p.m. 4 nights a week. So I was doing that, and believe it or not, I was also interning as a clinical therapist, what was called an AMFT, at the master's level for really high risk clients in my local community mental health center. And so that was extremely taxing. I loved it. It was amazing work, but doing all of those things was exhausting. But I was also doing this and building my business because I started to realize how many problems were part of the mental health system and how all these things were, how really just broken the mental health system was, and wanting to fix it in my own way. So it was really challenging to manage all of this, but with systems and organization, I was able to balance it all. Also with a few meltdowns peppered in there, like just sprinkle a few meltdowns, like definitely cried in my car, definitely like was like, what the f- am I doing? Like I remember sitting in my car at lunch one time, my corporate job, and like I just made a post on Instagram, and it was like a full week that no one had like commented or like done like engaged or anything. And I called my mom crying, and I was like, Mom, like, why am I doing this? And I'm so tired, and I just don't know if like this is worth it. And she was like, because you don't want to work for anybody else but yourself. And I was like, oh, you're right. You're so right. So it's kind of like really in the beginning is mindset is a big deal, but there's a lot of things to think about. And so I'm just going to go through what I've learned, what I did, what I teach my clients to help you get through this really kind of what I like to call the squeeze, and to keep yourself from getting burnt out during this kind of squeeze period. This is the hardest you're going to have to work in your business ever. In my opinion, when you're actually starting your business, you have so much to think about, so much that's new, so much that's going to come up for you internally in terms of your own mindset and your own programming and your own wounds and things like that. Self-care is literally the first thing I teach. It's the number one module in the Kajabi course for Ignite. The number one thing I teach all of my one-to-ones. You guys have got to take care of yourselves, especially during this time when you're starting your business and doing all the things. If you are not prioritizing self-care, you will burn out. It will take you 10 times longer to get through all the things you need to get through to set up your business and start making money and serving. So as much as we like to think of self-care as kind of like, oh, like I'll do it if I feel tired, or I'll do it when, this is actually something that has to be like, you're like a trapeze artist and you need to have a net, and this is your net. And without this net, if you fall or if you burn out or if you experience some difficulties or mindset setbacks, whatever, without this net, it's going to be really hard. You're probably going to break some bones, and it's going to take you some time to get back up and like get going again. So my biggest piece of advice is solidify self-care before you do anything else. Once you know you have this like net underneath you and you can create this resilience, then you will be able to show up for all the things you need to, the way you need to get things done without feeling like garbage. So highly recommend getting on self-care is like the first thing. And that means morning routines, like as annoying as that sounds, the morning routine will set you up. If you can set up your morning in a way that you are embodying your future self, the business owner you're becoming, the healer and leader that you're becoming as well, you're going to walk throughout your day feeling that way, being that person, and you're moving energetically away from that 9 to 5 person you are leaving behind. So I would wake up every morning. I am not a morning person, you guys. I started by setting my timer or my alarm back 15 minutes at a piece, like every couple of days, 15 minutes earlier and earlier, until I was waking up an hour and a half before I had to leave the house to go to my 9 to 5, or 2 hours, and then 2.5 hours. And before you know, I was waking up at like 5:30. I worked out. I took care of myself. I made a little breakfast. I journaled. I meditated. I got a line for the day. I figured out what my to-do list was for my business. And I hit the day running before anybody had even gotten up. And that is really how I pushed everything forward so quickly. If you can carve out that early morning time to be the CEO and to do the CEO self-care and embodiment, then you are going to walk throughout your day on that level, continuing to move the needle forward versus like waking up, rolling out of bed, going to your work, trying to do things here and there where you can. Getting yourself grounded and, taking care of yourself first thing is really important. So get yourself on a solid morning routine. I did a post a long time ago about this. What I recommend, you can do this in 15 minutes or you can do this in an hour. You want to hit like mindfulness, something with mindfulness. You want to do a meditation of some kind. You want to nourish yourself and you want to move your body. Moving your body does not have to be a HIIT workout. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. I am not a hard workout person. I love going outside for a walk. I love, stretching or just doing a few like sun salutations. It can be anything as long as you're engaging in just getting into your body. The other thing is, besides the morning routine, and obviously, it's good to have an evening wind down routine if you can, take mindfulness breaks throughout the day. So, if you're obviously we're not in our corporate 9 to 5, we're at home. So like if you have 5 minutes here, a couple minutes there, shut your laptop off, put your phone away or put something soothing on. Spotify has some really great meditation playlists and just breathe. Or go outside and use your senses and really engage with your senses in what you're experiencing. Feel the sun on your face, listen to the birds or the wind, or, feel the, touch a tree or something. Use your senses to really just kind of bring yourself into the present and really relax that nervous system. Because that's kind of like plugging your phone in throughout the day a little bit each time and giving like a tiny little bit of juice energetically for you. So those little mindfulness breaks really got me through the day because you're not obviously in a place where you can really schedule in like lots of self-care and breaks and all of those things. So just take it where you can. Yeah, meditation naps, Amber. I love a good meditation nap. Those are solid, you guys. Okay, cool. So the next thing is establishing healthy boundaries around your new dream. So this is self-care. Boundaries is self-care, you guys. So if you are a people pleaser, or if you're like somebody who doesn't know how to say no, that is going to kill you. Like in this, your time is very limited. Your energy is very limited. You cannot be having no boundaries with people. This goes for like kind of boundaries around, saying yes to doing things for people that like you don't really have time to do, or to hang out with people that maybe you don't necessarily really want to hang out with. It means, also having boundaries around who you're sharing your dream with. And this is really, really important, you guys. So what you're doing if you're entering the online business space, the entrepreneurial space, people do not get it. They don't understand unless you're in this world. It seems like such a really bizarre place. I know I felt that way. And when you are building your business, mindset is, and belief in yourself is so crucial to making this work, that you, as a part of self-care, need to be very careful about who you are sharing your dreams with. They will hold you back. They will try to say, well, I don't know if that's going to work. Or do you really think that that's something, can you make money doing that? I mean, I've heard it all, like from literally everybody that I knew, until I realized, oh, Gabby, you should stop like trying to explain this to people, because you're psyching yourself out and they just don't get it. They got it when I made a shit ton of money and they were like, what? They're like, and I was like happy all the time, and like was taking baths at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday, and they're like, well, okay, I don't understand this, but like now I want to know. So just be really careful. If you have parents that don't really get it, like don't share so much with them. Just say it's going well. I'm starting this thing. I'm really thinking about, changing my path, whatever. You don't need to share this stuff with everybody. Just make sure if you are sharing it, it's people who really fully support you and are there for you and are going to encourage you to keep going. So that was my little soapbox about be careful who you share your dreams with. Okay, so mindset. Yeah, this is like one of the biggies, obviously. Lots of stuff comes up mindset-wise. One of the things that I hear the most often is feeling overwhelmed with how much they have to build. Clients of mine, like how much they have to do. Not having enough time, needing to do like a website and like figure out social media and figure out client stuff and their methodology and their offering and all the things. It can feel like Mount Everest, and it's really, really, really scary, and it feels like it's never going to end, and it's like, oh my God, overwhelm. So the best advice I can give around this is like, I don't know if you guys are familiar at all with like, I love metaphors, but like horse racing. I think it's terrible. I hate it. But one of the things that they do to keep horses from getting freaked out or getting distracted is they put these things called blinders on. If you've ever seen them, even like in Central Park, the horses who do the carriages, I used to live in New Jersey, they have like these things that block distractions so they can't see the stuff around them, and they're really focused on what's in front of them. That's all they can see, and it keeps them from getting overwhelmed. So very similarly, like if you just focus on baby steps, baby tasks, one at a time, keeping your eyes just like 2 steps ahead of where you are and not looking at the whole mountain every single day going, oh, forget it, I'm just going to go watch Netflix. That's just going to help you move the needle forward. Just look 2-3 steps ahead at what you need to be doing. Have the bigger picture kind of in mind, but just really focus on, okay, what are these like next steps, these next 2 to 3 steps that I need to be doing, these baby little steps. And if you can do that and not look and freak yourself out, you will get to where you want to go faster than you think, like realize. And then you'll look back and be like, oh, wow, I went like a really long way and I didn't even realize. So that is one of the best things that kept me going. Just keep focused on those micro tasks and taking imperfect actions. You're going to suck at whatever you're going to do the first time. Like if you do it well, that's a bonus. Congratulations. Like, yes, we want that. We love that. We would love that to happen every time. Exactly, Amber, first fucking time, or whatever the fucking first time that Brene Brown says. And yeah, you're gonna suck the first time. Just do it anyway. No one's gonna like burn you at the stake. No one's gonna like murder you. Like it's gonna be okay. Just like take the imperfect action, post the post, get on the story, say the thing. You gotta suck your way to success. Oh my God, I'm dead. This is my audience. I love you guys so much. Exactly. And when I started my website, it looked like shit. I was so disorganized. I didn't know I did. I did not know marketing copy. I was just like, here's all this stuff. And then, you just put it up there. I didn't know how to post. I'd never been trained on social media. I didn't know how to grow a following. I didn't know how to have a brand. Like, I don't know what I was doing. But I took imperfect action because I was really connected, and we'll talk about this in a second, to the why of what I was creating and what I wanted to actually show up and accomplish and how I wanted to serve my community versus being perfect or having to know all the things. I'm like, okay, I was working at the time as a clinician with people who are suicidal. When you're working with someone who is really actively thinking about killing themselves, you don't have time to come up with the perfect intervention. You don't. You literally have to be like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. This is what I'm thinking. Like, just go. This is what we're gonna do. And these are the steps of like, you need to do this. We need to take this step. We need to start doing this and taking care of this. Obviously not somebody who has to be hospitalized, but someone who's like really, really depressed and needs to get some help, like, and some advice, like immediately. So we don't have time. We don't have time for you to get perfect. The world is in a lot of pain. We need you. So take those imperfect steps, because you'll just keep getting better and better. And we all have to start somewhere. Affirmations and NLP are really helpful, neuro linguistic programming, for your mindset. Our brains work in a really interesting way, and this is kind of wrapping in the next couple of points. We have a couple of things that are working against us, and it's really important to know these things and be consciously aware of these things before we go into something like starting a business and getting on social media and using that as our marketing tool and things like that, and putting ourselves out there. So the first thing is that we have, if you've been with me or followed me for a while, I talk sometimes about core beliefs and subconscious programming and the unconscious mind. These are the parts of our mind that really control our behavior, our thoughts, our feelings. Our core beliefs are formed when we are between the ages of 0 and 7 years old. A core belief is essentially anything that comes up to you where you're like, this is a fact. It's probably a core belief. Anything like, people are out always going to scam me. That's a core belief. It's not truth. It's like a belief that feels like truth because it's something that we grew up hearing often, or we were in relationships where it was like communicated to us that was, that was that person's belief, but that was reality. Core beliefs can also like be about us, about the world, about other people. So core belief about ourselves is like, oh, I'm not important enough to like have a following. No one cares what I have to say. I don't know enough. I'm not qualified enough. I'm not an expert. My voice doesn't deserve to be heard. Anything like that. We're going to go over negativity bias in a second. So I'm kind of going like flip-floppy. But the core beliefs are really like these things that come up into our head that we think are facts, and that we then act in accordance with, in alignment with. But really, those are things that we're kind of carrying with us from like really long time ago. They're not beliefs that we're consciously choosing. Things like, I am so fucking worthy of everything I desire. I am an amazing human being. I have a lot to offer. My voice matters to the people who it needs to matter to. All of those things are beliefs, just the positive core beliefs. So most of us really have these negative core beliefs that kind of really will hold us back, because they'll pop in, those automatic thoughts will pop into our head every time we post, like, oh my God, this is shit, I'm just going to delete this. Or like, I shouldn't say this, it's going to be too controversial, and then someone's going to like attack me, and then I'm going to melt down, and that's going to be it. So I better not say this thing that I feel very passionate about, which really could be the thing that gets you really seen. So it's super important to know what are your core beliefs that you're carrying unconsciously into this next venture that you're going into, and how do you get out of your own way? Just by noticing when they pop up and you're stopping yourself from actually doing the things you need to do. So negativity bias and confirmation bias are other aspects of this kind of these processes. And our brain, like, in terms of evolutionary functioning, our mind and our brains, number one, and our bodies, number one mission is survival, right? So survival, and that can mean avoidance of pain or annihilation from death, from like something killing you, like that kind of a thing, or from even emotional pain. So any kind of perceived pain, your brain is like, we cannot have that, because that's going to lead to not survival. So what happens is a couple of things. We have a negativity bias. Our brain will only hold on to the negative things that have happened to us and the negative experiences we've gone through, and it will hold on to that shit forever, because it needs to keep you alive. And any kind of negative, upsetting, life-threatening, stressful experience that we have, it actually takes 5 positive experiences in that same realm to undo that one negative experience. So if you have one negative experience with your parents, they have to do 5 nice things when you're a kid to like undo that programming. It's really messed up, but that's the truth. So the reason is, oh, that caused me pain. We're never going to do that again. So I'm going to like pop up thoughts and make you feel things so that we avoid the possibility of that, of experiencing that pain, that disappointment, that suffering anymore. So we don't have a positivity bias. We don't ever think, like, we don't hold on to all of the things that we've succeeded at, or we don't remember like when we overcame hardships and we figured hard things out, or we, we were at our best. And so it's really important that, like, it's like a coin, like as much as you are spending time and energy thinking about the negative outcomes, like, this isn't going to work, no one's going to like this, no one's going to follow me, my business isn't going to make money. The more that we, every minute that we spend on that, you need to consciously spend 1 minute imagining the other side of that, which is, what if it works? What if it's a viable, successful business? What if people really want to hear what I have to say? What if? Because our brain just naturally doesn't do that process. It will not weigh the positives. So part of when you're in this beginning stage of like building your business, it's so much of it is that belief and that mindset, and kind of like working against your programming and working against your brain's evolutionary functioning, essentially, to survive and avoid risk, because you're taking lots of risks by starting this new thing. So knowing that your brain spends so much time, I'm so glad this is resonating, Kelly. Knowing that your brain spends so much time thinking about the negative outcomes, and then you freak yourself out and you're like, forget it, I'm just not going to start because it's just like too scary. Nothing's going to go well. If you actually spend the same amount of time and you time yourself when you start having those negative thoughts, let yourself have them, roll with it, see how long it goes, and then let yourself go down that spiral, and then stop the timer and then start the timer. And I want you to sit there and go, okay, so now I'm going to think about how it's going to go, if it goes well. And you time yourself and you think, and I did that. Like, that's part of the actual reprogramming that has to take place to really start to trick your brain essentially into receiving this as truth. And when you can do that, you are programming it to look for the things that are going to make that reality happen, because it has that bias, and it's going to start seeking and scanning once you have that thing. Confirmation bias is very similar. Just like our brain has, it's so fucked. It's like twofer, so our brain has this thing to keep us alive. Like, we're going to avoid all pain. So we're going to remember all the bad things that happen, so we don't repeat them. And then we have these core beliefs that are like running the operation of our thoughts and feelings. And we have no idea what they are, but they're like these beliefs that like we perceive everything through. And then we have our confirmation bias, which is our brain loves to seek out what it already believes. Sound familiar? We have lots of people who are like, well, of course, like, this is true. I believed it was true. And then I found this evidence. And it's like, but you didn't actually look or acknowledge any of the evidence that like was not agreeing with this, because you just found the evidence that agreed with your original thought. And that's not proof. That's the way the brain works. The brain's like, I believe I'm a piece of shit. So I'm going to go out, and every day today I'm going to look around and I'm going to be like, oh, there it is. That's because I'm a piece of shit. Oh yeah, that's right. That's because I suck. All right. And it's like so crazy, because it's like, you would think that wouldn't be what our brain would do. But it actually does. It looks to confirm what you already believe, which is why knowing what your core beliefs are is so dang important in this stage of your journey. Because if you know you're walking into something feeling unworthy, or feeling like your voice doesn't matter, or feeling like any kind of thing happening, or the world is a dangerous place, or, you can now do the work to reprogram that, so you can trick your negativity and confirmation bias to start looking for the things to confirm those positive beliefs. And then the bias for the positivity helps you seek out more of the same thing. So we're really just like reprogramming your entire kind of unconscious mind by using things like affirmations and things. So when you're saying in the mirror, I'm so grateful for this business that's thriving when you're like in your one bedroom or your studio apartment making like nothing and you don't have your business yet. You need to call in those emotions to make those affirmations fire off those neurons and make those processes start to happen, that rewiring start to happen. So the affirmations, the NLP is so good for mindset, but remember, in order to make that activate, to change your biases, to change your beliefs, to change your unconscious mind and your programming, you need to bring in the emotions of the feelings of what it would feel like to already have this. So when I would sit and do my affirmations, I would think about what it would feel like to have a full client roster of ideal clients, of people I fucking love working with, helping, supporting, like women who are like claiming their power and they're making their advances in their journeys and they're seeing their results and they're finding their voice. And I get goosebumps thinking about it because it's like, I didn't have that, but I was sitting in the reality of what that would be like every day to like meet my clients and to give them this experience and to make that abundance and to look at my bank accounts and to feel really secure and to be like, wow, I can afford the things I want to afford and take care of myself the way I want to take care of myself. And that emotional component is the key. Otherwise, your neurons won't fire. And then you're just going to be standing there feeling like upset and disappointed, saying like, I'm telling myself all of these things and it's not happening or working. That's because there needs to be this kind of all this belief that it's already yours and this embodied emotion of already being at that place. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. I'm just going to look at the comment really quick. Any questions? Yeah, it's really crazy. The brain is nuts. I love learning about it because I'm just like, you're a whole thing. And like, I'm not going to let you rule my life. Great. I'm so happy this is helpful, you guys. This is so important. Again, like this all is like stuff you're going to use forever and ever, but especially in the beginning, you're really getting into alignment and you're changing your mindset and you're doing all these things. It's so important to do the mindset stuff. It's what's going to help you keep going, because the thing that needs to happen is you just need to show up with consistency for your business, and consistency is a mindset thing. Mantras that really help me: this is temporary. Help me so much. I sit at my desk and I'm like, I'm so busy. I'm so like, there's a lot going on. I'm feeling overwhelmed. It's temporary. This is the hardest part of your business right now, when you're doing all the things. But when you can hire your first VA, your virtual assistant, when you can expand and have a team to do things for your social media and to help you with content and design, and you can expand and invest into your business, it'll get easier. So for now, if what you have to do is repeat things like, this is temporary, like that's what helped me. This is a temporary part of the process. And another thing that one of my really awesome Ignite clients, was it Christy Amber that said this? My day job funds my dream job. It was Christy, right? Yeah, she's in this round of Ignite and we were talking about mindset and all of these mantras. And she was like, my day job funds my dream job. And I was like, I am stealing that. That is great. So if you have to say, it's literally your day job is funding your ability to put your stuff into your business. So it pays your bills, right? We don't hate our day job. Our day job gives us the ability, like gratitude, because it gives us our ability to pay for the things we need to pay for, so we can put our heart into what really matters to us, which is our business. So mindset, guys, important. I feel like I'm gonna go over. Oh my God, 5:36. Okay. Okay. So alignment and highest self-embodiment. This is one of the major things that I teach in my particular coaching style and program. If you want to have a business that outlasts everything that's going to change in the world, if you want to have a business that feels really good, that's in flow with who you are as a soul being, and you don't just want to keep like working, but you want to really like, have a business that's really just kind of a mirror of who you are and what feels good for you. Alignment is key, and highest self-embodiment is like one of the most important things you could possibly do, and what you in my program need to do. We don't even it's like business and abundance does not come until you do this work. So while you're figuring out your business and you're sitting at your job and you're kind of like trying to see, what do I do next? get aligned. This is going to help you get clear about what you're going to say on social media, how you're going to show up, how you're going to do your business, your branding, everything. Alignment is where it begins. So first thing I like to say is connect with your larger why. Why are you doing this? Why are you creating this business? Why do you want to help who you want to help? Why do you want to create what it is you want to create? You didn't just wake up one day and go, I want to create, I just want to have like a pottery line and to do essential oils and these like cute little pottery things. Like there's a story behind that, like what is the story? What is the why? What is like that soul, that heart connection that really drives you to show up for this? Connecting with that over and over again is going to keep you aligned and going to keep you moving forward towards your goal. If your business is like, I just want to make money and I just want, if it's like very 3D like that, like very like, it's not going to like last, and it's going to be a lot harder to stay connected with it. When you're like, no, I'm here showing up every day to help women healing from trauma. Like, that's why I'm here. I'm here because the mental health system is fucked up and I need my healers to get, aligned and abundant and happy because they deserve it. They can do their best work that way. Like, what is the why? That's going to help you show up on the days where you feel like your mindset isn't great, where you feel like you're maybe a little bit down, anything like that, and less inspired. Connecting to that why is always going to bring you back into alignment. How are you hoping to positively impact the world? Another question to ask yourself. Everybody, we all make impacts every single day, you guys. You living intentionally, you can have intentional impact. Whenever I go out, I make conversations with everybody I meet, whether they're the person giving me my coffee, or they're the checkout teller, or they're just randomly somebody I bump into like in the street. I talk and I say, hey, and I'm my highest self, and I wave, and, I wish them well. And I don't start long conversations because it's COVID, but, it's like I walk into the world and I walk in every day, and you never know how that positive moment impacted that person's life, but that's what you're putting out into the world. So when I say a positive impact, it doesn't mean like, I want to change the world. It can be that. And how do you want to show up every day in a way that you're like giving something positive to the world? Is it through your compassion, through your listening, through, giving back, through like, what is it? And start connecting with like how you want to connect to the larger collective. Alignment and highest self stuff. So rituals are awesome for getting into alignment and practicing the highest self embodiment. These could be like empowering rituals, grounding rituals, manifesting rituals, healing rituals, like intention setting rituals, things like we're human beings, like from caveman days, we are ritual beings. It is very primal to do rituals, and it is something that helps us really connect with something that's beyond language and conscious awareness. It's more like an ancestral knowing. And there are these rituals that we can do to feel really grounded. Empowering rituals, and also it doesn't have to be super serious. So an empowering ritual, Kelly is asking, and you can do so many. Yeah, Anastasia, you're so right. One of the things I love for an empowering ritual are a good set of affirmations and really getting into it. I love putting on my power playlist on Spotify. Om has a playlist if you want to check it out. There's an empowerment playlist, and I love putting on music and dancing and singing, and it's really personal. So whatever rituals are just things that you do on a regular basis in a very specific way that bring up these feelings. So okay, cool. Got it. So get into rituals where you do things on a regular basis. Every Sunday I have my skincare ritual, and I do my long multi-masking situation, and I journal and I read, and that's part of my grounding and healing. So come up with your own rituals and experiment. I did a bunch of different ones and tried making my own stuff up until I found things that really resonated for me. Just do things that resonate for you. Don't do things everyone else is doing because you think you need to do it. If your ritual is making a cup of hot cocoa every Thursday night and watching one episode of your favorite show, awesome. If that makes you feel grounded, great. I love it. But just start making these special moments for yourself because you're worth it. So intention setting, make sure you're setting intentions for what you want to bring in. Every morning sitting down saying, today I'm wanting to have a day filled with joy. Today I want to have a day filled with power. Today I want to meet new people. Today I want to, Amber has a question. So, and I'll get to you in a second, Amber. So setting intentions every day and living kind of as that future self, Amber, you had a question from someone?
Yes, we actually have a really great question. And also, Gabby, if you don't want to speak to this, I'm more than happy to speak to it. So the question is advice for finding and staying in alignment with your why for a person who struggles with disability and chronic illness. I find myself approaching work from a place of fear so often and feeling like my why is so often just taking care of my physical body.
You know what? I think this would be a great opportunity for you to jump in, since this is so much of your story as well. And I would love to actually give you a chance to answer this question.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, so those of you who haven't joined us before, I was actually born with a congenital birth defect of my left arm. So I've had surgeries my whole life, chronic pain. And then at the age of 24, I was diagnosed with chronic Lyme disease that I had had for over 10 years, but they didn't know. So chronic illness and disability and pain have been a huge part of my life, and also incorporating that into my work with my clients and also my work with myself and my own healing journey. So the biggest thing that I can speak to in terms of what has been helpful for me is actually really not focusing on it. And that's not in a dismissive way, but when I get up in the morning, I really visualize myself as being whole and healthy and healed and strong. And for me, I also know that everything that's occurred in my life has brought me to a place of being better able to serve and have more empathy for the people that I work with. So I really recognize everything as something that's happening for me instead of something that's happening to me, which really helps bring me back to my why and being really proud of this body and everything that we've gone through together and everything we will go through together. And I also try to make my healthcare practices rituals, which is like what Gabby was saying. So when I am sitting down and I'm taking my supplements or I'm doing different healing treatments, I really visualize these things going in and being so grateful I have access to them, nourishing my body and feeling so good and so grateful for everything that I have in front of me and everything I'm able to do. And I do understand where chronic illness and disability, you kind of feel like at any second the rug can get ripped out from under you. But just remembering that that's not who you are. It's a part of your story. It's not who you are, but the essence of who you are is not something that can be taken away ever, no matter what's happening in your life.
Oh, damn, yes. This is why I love having you on my team. So I think that's, I don't have anything to add to that. It's literally better than what I would have said. So I'm glad you answered. I love the rituals aspect. And I think that's, Jamie was saying as well, the healthcare is rituals, really, really beautiful way to honor your body and to practice self-love and to practice, just being where you are, which is fine, and it's all about learning to, and mindfulness practices are really helpful for this, meeting yourself where you are and not necessarily trying to push away what's happening, but learning how to, find your power within it. But it's really hard. It's really hard. Yeah, Lyme disease. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know a couple of people with Lyme. It's really tough. So I hope that was helpful. And okay, cool. So let's see. So let's finish. I want to make sure I'm mindful of everyone's time. And I do have a few more slides. So let's see. And yeah, Amber is super happy to talk to anybody who's a beginning entrepreneur, who's like making the leap and like also dealing with these kinds of differences and difficulties. And so she's a wealth of knowledge, you guys. So like DM her and lean on her. She's awesome. So where were we? Okay, so intention setting. So start making decisions as future you. Invest like future you would. This is really important. I was like terrible with money, and I was like, I don't have any money for anything. And then I was like spending like $50 on DoorDash and like getting lattes like here and there, and like random like $5 here, $10 there. It all adds up. So I want you to start being really intentional, right? So every decision that you make, that you can catch yourself in the moment, ask yourself if you're making a decision as current you or future you, and make the decision as future you. Same thing with money. Like, are you investing? Is everything you're putting your money, energy, and time towards serving where you're going? And if the question is no, ask yourself why you continue to invest your time, energy, or money in that thing. So invest like you would future you. The way that I invest in myself now, I think I would have literally punched myself in the face like 3 years ago. Like, and then like, what? Like, who do you think you are spending that kind of money on yourself? Who do you, like, where'd you even get that money? Like, what are you even doing? And I think I would have laughed in my face and been like, that's not going to be a thing. It's a real thing. You need to invest in yourself and your business and reinvest over and over and over again if you want it to take off. You need to spend money on a coach. You need to spend money on support. You need to spend money on a website, on a URL, on little things here and there. I mean, and then you need to invest energy and time. So it's not just money, but it's also energy and time. So think about how future you, CEO you, client who's serving clients and running their business and making lots of money, how do they invest? Where do they put their resources and put them in that direction? One of the hardest things to do that's going to happen, so I'm really sorry if you're in this group, probably you've already experienced it or are going to experience it. You need to shed everything that's not aligned. Like, that's it. Like, done. People, places, things, habits, you need to get rid of them. As difficult as it is, as much as it hurts and it's going to be painful, give yourself room to grieve. If you need to step away from relationships that aren't serving you, people who are making you feel less than, people who don't let you be your full self, people who don't let you use your voice or don't want to hear what you have to say, let them go. It doesn't mean you have to like have a big blowout fight, but just stop texting them, just let them go. Shed things that aren't, we're going to shed the job eventually, right? But just shed. Give yourself permission to Marie Kondo the shit out of your life, energetically, space-wise, relationship-wise, even if they're, yes, and this is a big point, Amber, even if they're family members, especially if they're family members or close friends. I can tell you, and this is not to say anything bad, it's just like the people I was friends with and that I invested my time, energy, and money into, and the things I was doing, investing those things into, they were serving current me at that time. They were not serving future me. And then as I started to invest in future me, those other things no longer served me, and they kind of naturally started to disappear, and new things started to walk into my life. And now I have Amber and Lexi and like all amazing people and you guys, and like it's like awesome, but it really requires that you make space for that. And the universe is serious. Like, if you are not shedding those things, it will not give you what you need to take the next step. So you need to make those hard decisions and step away from the things that are holding you back. Look for support and signs. I know this is very woo-woo, but that's me. And I believe it because I've been there and I literally can't deny it. And I'm psychologist, I'm into science, but I have to tell you, the universe will give you signs and will support you. Look for the path of least resistance, not what your conscience or your ego is like, I don't like this, or I don't know about this. Like, if there's no resistance, let yourself adjust and check it out. The universe is going to give you signs and people and things to kind of guide you as you start paying attention and getting aligned. And if you can follow those breadcrumbs, it's going to be a lot easier for you. And last thing about this is alignment is doing your inner work and healing your wounds. If you're a healer, this is imperative. If you want to be ethical, you need to do your inner work. And I'm adamant about this. I will not work with anybody, and I don't care if you want to pay me in full. I will not work with you if you're not willing to do this. I only work with people who are really embodied, who do this work, because you need to know what you're bringing into the room when you work with people. If you're going to hold space in any kind of way, through a program, through a retreat, through a workshop, through one-on-one, through group, anything, you need to know what you're bringing into the room so you don't hurt people. The other thing is, if you're a leader and you're creating a business and you're going to employ people and you're going to have an impact on the world, you absolutely need to be conscious of all of the stuff happening in your psyche, in your inner world, where your wounding is. So you cannot just like not bleed on other people, but also get out of your own way. If you know that you have certain tendencies to self-sabotage, when you know about them, you can stop doing them. So that's definitely important. Do your inner work, heal your wounds. Obviously, this is a lifelong process, but just even getting started is a bonus, a good thing. So my question for you guys to think about is, where can you right now, in the next couple of weeks, deepen your embodiment and alignment work? What can you do to get more aligned? Oh, Madeline, yay! Oh, that makes me so happy. You're so welcome. And I'm really, really glad that this found you. And Pure Platinum, you too. Yay! I'm so glad it's helpful, you guys. We all deserve happiness and freedom of time and life. Okay, so we have about 10 minutes. I think I have like 2 more slides. I'm gonna go like quickly, but I'm not going, I have a couple more slides, 3 more slides. So just those, I'm gonna go through these. Those of you who can stay and wanna stay. Those of you who need to leave, I totally understand. No harm, no foul. I won't hate you. If you need to leave at 6, that's fine. But we're probably gonna go a little over, just FYI. Okay, so we got self-care, we've got our other stuff, we've got alignment. Now it's time for the practical shit, right? Because it's all up here, and now we got to actually do some stuff. So the biggest thing that helped me, if you are very limited on resources because you are doing so much, organization is everything. I also have ADHD. It's not my strong suit to be organized. Those of you who work with me know this. That's why I made this PowerPoint 30 minutes before this presentation, even though I had 4 hours today to do this. Anyway, so organize your time, guys. It's gonna save you a lot of energy. It's gonna like keep you from burning out. Use a schedule and follow it. I use Google Calendar. I find it very helpful. It has a lot of different app integrations with Zoom, with Calendly, with different things you use for your business. So get on Google Calendars and make yourself a calendar and follow it. On this calendar should everything, micro schedule everything from breaks to self-care, to journaling, to work, to a call, appointment, hanging out with a friend, fun stuff. Your time is a resource. You need to know where every single minute is going. And that's really mostly important in this beginning stage. You definitely, I do not live like this anymore necessarily, where it's like hyper organized. But when you have very little time, you need to be doing everything you can wherever you can, including self-care and rest. And you'll forget to do that because you'll be so busy. So putting that in your schedule is key too. Prep the night before for the day ahead, guys. Prep Sundays for the week. Prep the first of the month for the rest of the month. You can work ahead and make your life easy. The night before, if I know I have to wake up and I'm going to meditate, I'm going to journal, and I'm going to make my coffee, and I'm going to do all those things, do I really want to be wasting time groggy, getting up, trying to figure out what the coffee is, opening the cabinet, doing like this, and like putting it in and turning the water on, like, and going and like putting on a workout outfit, like do I need picking out my clothes? Like, give your brain a break, right? The night before, if you know what you're going to do the next day, I put my workout clothes aside. I put my socks in my shoes. I put my robe right next to my bed. So I roll out of bed and I like roll into my robe. I have my coffee in my French press ready to go. All I have to do, I have the water filled. All I have to do is put the water on. Everything's measured, ready to go. I have my ear pods and stuff by the door where the dog leashes are. I have my meditation cushion set up with the candle and the stuff I burn and the incense and things the night before. So I just have to walk in here and everything's in here. It takes like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. It saves you so much energy. So prep the night before all the stuff you need to make sure you can execute that morning routine and have your day all set up with the least amount of stress as possible. Another way to organize, I love a good running to-do list, which mine is in the other room right now, but I'm like an old school person. I like to write down my to-do list. Also, there's a brain connection with it. So bye, Whitney. The replay will be sent out, by the way, in the email tomorrow, so you'll be able to see the rest of this if you're heading out right at 6. So in terms of your running to-do list, I have just like a thing. I'll say like Monday and I'll put the date, and then I will put whatever I need to do to get done. If it's a larger task, like, oh, I know I need to, I need to put up my website. It's like, well, that's a lot. Like, how can we break that down? Well, I need an intro for me. I need an offerings page, and I need a place for people to contact me or something. And so you can break that down into like setting each of those individually up, and that's a micro task, and just having that running to-do list. So whatever you don't finish, you just push over to the next day. I just use a regular notebook, and I just write the next day. I'll just carry over whatever I can't get done. And that really helped me get little bits at a time done every single day, because you really have everything in front of you, and you can just check it off as you go and like build all the things you need to build: your Instagram, your content, your website, your back end, the things that you need to build before you start really launching your business. You can put it on a to-do list and have it, continuous. I used all of my free time at work to work on my business. No shame. Like whenever I was like done with whatever stupid little task I had to do for work, I was building my website. I was posting content. I was playing on Canva. I was listening to podcasts. I was doing things that were like helping me figure out what I was going to do next for my business. If you guys have time in between tasks at work, and they're not going to like fire you or find out, like do little things for your business. You don't have, again, a lot of time. So just pepper in things where you can, whenever you have free time. Block scheduling is really helpful. So anytime that you're able to block certain times out for activities that are like similar activities. So for example, graphics. So if you're going to do graphics for your designs for Instagram that week, do all of your graphics in one sitting. Like have an hour blocked off for just that one task, rather than doing them here and there or every day as you're posting. Because switching from like writing to designing the colors and the fonts in the post to like posting to engaging, like all of those are different functions in your brain, and it gets you very tired. So if you can block like tasks, write all your captions together, do all of your design together, do all of your Instagram engagement at a particular time in the day, and then get off the app, stop scrolling. I check all of my messages at the end of the day. I don't answer DMs throughout the day because it just sucks time out of my day and I just can't. So block all similar tasks. If you can do that, it'll save you time and energy. Dreaming of success while dressed for success in bed. That's really funny. Yeah, if you could dress the night before, bonus points, and you just like roll out of bed and you're ready to go. So the other thing about organizing, know your financial situation. This is going to be a key element of leaving your job. If you are not really in the know with what you're making, what you're bringing in, what you're spending, like what your monthly overhead is, get to figuring that out. How much are you currently making? In all areas, like, do you get an allowance from your partner if they're the primary breadwinner? Do you currently like have a job? Do you have multiple jobs? Like, how much are you currently making every month? Figure that number out. Then you need to figure out how much do you need to make to cover the basic needs and overhead, your basic needs and overhead. Okay. So how much are you currently making? How much do you need every month? And then factoring in, do you already have a savings, or do you have a partner that's going to help support you in your business? These are all factors to consider, when we're kind of getting ready to leave our job and go full time into running our business. Save as much as you can. I was shopping literally dollar store for everything. Dollar store, Goodwill, coupon queen, like saving every penny I could so I could invest it into my business. So whatever that number is in terms of how much do you need to cover your basic needs and overhead for like rent, cell bill, gas, car bill, things like that, add another $2,000 for safety. And that's the number you're going to want to hit with your clients before you leave your job, and you can be really comfortable. Some people like to dive into it and leave their job, as they're building their Instagram, as they're seeing that happen. I was a little bit more, kind of reserved and conservative. And so that's how I I felt secure once I got launched and got clients, and I was making way more than the extra 2,000 and the monthly overhead. I was like, great, that's my cue. I can leave. Be a time management wizard. Schedule every part of your day. I don't know why that's down there, but basically, yeah, just schedule every part of your free time and do something with it. So know your financial situation, guys. This is going to be the recipe for figuring out literally the number that you have to hit for your launches to be able to comfortably leave your 9-to-5. So then I think this is the last thing, or next to last thing is prioritizing. So like we said, how are you spending your resources, time, money, and energy? You need to invest at least one of these things in your business for it to be a business and not a hobby. So let me repeat that. You are going to need to invest at least one of these things, all of those things really, into your business if it's going to be a business and not a hobby. Okay. So anybody who tells you that starting a business is super easy and takes 3 steps and oh, it's not. It's really, I want to acknowledge it is work, and it takes commitment, and it takes energy, and it takes money, and it takes time. So with this, you need to understand that you're going to have to prioritize these 3 things and put them towards your dreams for the next year or 2 as you're building. You need to say no to anything that isn't helping you reach your goals. Personal or professional, say no. It's a hell no. You don't have the time, you don't have the energy, you don't have the money. Let's not play. If this is something you really want to do, we got to prioritize. Set a launch date. Once you start getting set dates, basically, set dates and stick to them. If you're going to get your website done by a certain date, put in your calendar and stick to that date. If you're going to, if you're getting your audiences going and you're starting to see engagement and you're okay, I think I'm ready to start taking on clients. Set a launch date to start taking on clients, right? So be okay, someone was when is your next round of Ignite starting? And I'm I don't know. And I'm okay, I got to pick a date. I got to pick a date for my next launch, right? So pick the date, and that'll really help you stick with showing up for the things you need to show up with because you have a date that you're working towards. And then when you start getting your clients and you start seeing that you're making money and you're starting to get to that number goal, then you need to set your date for leaving. And that is sometimes the hardest thing, giving them your notice and saying, okay, I'm giving my 4 weeks and going on to different ventures, and I wish you well. And I just had a client do this on Monday, and she was shaking when she did it. And then she was so happy because she literally launched her one-to-one spots, and I'm not even kidding you, had 200 applications. And she's well, I guess I can quit my job now. I'm yes, you need to set a date and tell them you're leaving. So set the date and make the leap and have the faith that you're going to make it and it's going to be fine, because it will. Once you start your social media, you can start taking clients. Once you start getting, engagement and people, really loving your content. So now give your notice and stick to it. Prioritize getting your back end set up. So you don't need to have all the fancy things before you launch your business and start getting clients. I literally had a link tree in my link in bio. I had really good content. That's all you really need, is really good content that connects with your ideal client and helps them and provides value and service. And then just have a link tree with an application and a basic 1-page website. That's just a picture of you, a little paragraph about who you are and what you do, a little paragraph about what you're offering, and a connection for your Instagram so they can go be redirected back to your Instagram or whatever your main platform is. That's all you need to get started. You don't need to have lots of crazy stuff. That's all you need. Post consistently, guys. So this is 1 to 3 times per day when you're really growing. I did 1 a day and that was fine for me. And if you skip a day here and there, that's okay. But again, kind of batching or blocking your time, block time to create your post for the week. It'll take maybe an hour. And then you have 5 posts or 7 posts, you can just post them throughout the week. And that way you can save your time and energy, get everything done, create it in one time, and then pepper it out throughout the week. But it needs to be consistent if you want to grow. And growth organically, it takes time and energy. And so you do need to post 1 to 3 times a day to be able to grow consistently. Have a lead magnet, solve a problem for your audience, create a, workshop or a freebie or something that you can, give to them to help them. That shows your expertise, builds community, helps kind of boost you up, and people will share your stuff. Also prioritize getting some testimonials and referrals. So if you have people in the space who have, a waiting list and, they don't know when they're going to see them, or, they think someone might be a good fit for you, have a referral, start talking to people, in this space and make friends and see if you can have some referral networks going. Testimonials are social proof. They're huge. So people really want to see if it works. Does your stuff work? So many coaches, how do you pick the right one, right? So testimonials is a really great way to help with this, and referrals, right? So they know you if they're referring to you, they know what you do and they know who you'd be good for. Testimonials, your ideal clients talking about what it's like to work with you is going to bring in more of those same people who are looking to do the same things. Prioritize also collaborating and sharing audiences. If you're in any kind of group coaching program with other people, work together. And then invest as much of your money back into your business as you can. Just keep reinvesting into upgrading things. And the faster you do that, the faster it'll grow. And that includes getting coaches or getting people who are going to support you and teach you how to do all the things and all that good stuff. So last, super important, educate yourself while you're doing all this stuff. I consume. That was like the name of the game for this time period in my journey. I was consuming so much information, podcasts on business and leadership, books on psychology and leadership and business, like talking to people, listening to lives, like following other content creators who were doing stuff that I wanted to do or things that I really liked or hit me. So really spend at least an hour a day on education or some kind of personal development that's going to help inform your business, and 1 hour on business development. And that can be peppered throughout the day. Again, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, do a post, engage with somebody, follow somebody, read a book, read a chapter, watch a YouTube video, but spend at least, some time doing these things every single day so that you have, the juice, you're filling your cup so you can really show up for what you're teaching people and how you're showing up for your business. And I really built my entire business listening to podcasts, like implementing things from people's content and podcasts, swear to God, before I even made my first investment in a coach. So all of that is super possible. And then spend time playing with social media. So just play with it, see what your style is that you like, come up with posting that feels really aligned for you. There's no right way of doing it. There's ways that you can do it that'll, bump you up and get you in the algorithm and get you seen more. And those are cool tips and tricks. But what really where the success comes from is if you're really aligned and know who you are and know what you're here to do, you create content from that place for your ideal client, and it's yours and feels authentic to you. That's going to be what hits. So I hope this has all been helpful. I know I kind of rushed through the last week because I know we're losing people because I know it's late. Then just do this and repeat. Just do the damn thing and repeat. Post the post, do the thing, whatever it needs to do, whatever you need to do to move the needle forward, just go ahead and do it. And be fearless, So, okay, with that, any questions about anything that we've gone over today? I appreciate you guys sticking around. I know we're a little bit over. Feel free to drop it in the chat or to, no, you're so welcome. I know there's a lot of info. Oh, Tina, I'm so glad you liked it. Yay. Any book recs on neuroscience? Kelly, anything by Joe Dispenza. I love You Are the Placebo. That one blew my mind. It was one of your favorite community calls. Yes! I literally woke up this morning I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And then all of a sudden I sat down, I meditated, and I was and I wrote this long ass note for 20 minutes. I was oh, there it is. So you guys, good luck. You are seriously this is something you can do. This is not impossible. It's a couple of things to keep in mind. In the email, if you're signed up for the email list, keep it out tomorrow. Save the email that you're going to get. It's this replay. So you can watch this again if you need to refresh. Kathy, you're the bomb. All right, cool. So with that, any last questions, drop it in the chat before I end the call. I'll give you 30 seconds. And as you know, I always forget this. So part of the thing, you're supposed to promote things in these things, right? Because they're free. So I won't like talk your head off, but we are enrolling for Ignite. It's our group program for introductory level entrepreneurs who are in the healing profession, wellness space, therapists, psychologists. So if any of this stuff spoke to you, this is all stuff that we do in the program. And I really, really love it. It's thanks, Gabby. Bridget is an alum, and she was just here. And Lexi and Amber both are alums and now coaches because I just love them so much. I kept them, and so feel free to ask around any of the people who've gone through the program. They love talking about it, and I love talking about it. So. Anyway, we start in February, and if you're interested, let me know. It's a $500 deposit, 90-day course, online program, group coaching, calls, and all the sisterhood and love you could imagine. And with that, thank you so much for joining us, and I will see you guys. If you like this, DM me and let me know on Instagram, okay? And we will talk soon.
And that's our episode for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us at the Conscious Leadership Podcast. I'm so excited. This next year, 2021, is going to be huge. We have so many guests that are coming on that you are going to love. I'm going to be doing some more solo casts and Om Therapy coaching. We have so many things rolling out for you. Retreats, another round of Ignite starting in May, another one starting at the end of the summer, a mastermind, and so many other things. So be sure to stay tuned with us on Instagram. Follow me at om_therapy_coaching and stay tuned for so much goodness coming up. As always, I would love to hear your feedback. Head over to iTunes and leave us a review, and I would love to give you a free copy of my subconscious reprogramming workbook, and that is absolutely free. Just send me a screenshot of your review and on Instagram, and I will be so happy to send that over as my gift for you. And I am sending you so many hugs, so much love, and I hope that this week you are able to find just a little bit more joy in your life. Have a good one, guys.